What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about how the Houston Rockets will have no excuse if they lose to the Golden State Warriors in Game 6 with KD out injured. So let's see what they have to say about that.
With KD injured, is this series over?
Well, I'm not going to say it's over, but what I will tell you is that there is no excuse for the Houston Rockets not to win this series. I can tell you that much right now. I mean, if you listen, Max Kellerman has been one of the ringleaders with this argument. If CP3 had not gone down, the Houston Rockets would have won the West last year and probably the championship. That's what they were saying last year against a healthy KD, a healthy Steph Curry, a healthy Klay Thompson. Well, guess what? Now CP3 is healthy, and so is James Harden, and so is PJ Tucker, and so is Eric Gordon and the crew. And KD goes down. Y'all won games 3 and 4 with a healthy KD on the floor, averaging 35 a game. You won game 3 and 4 with KD doing what he's doing, wreaking havoc throughout the postseason. And you were down 20 plus last night before you came back and took the lead before KD went down. And somehow, some way, now you got an excuse to lose? Oh, hell no. No. This is what it's all about right here when it comes to James Harden and CP3. And it's not just James Harden. It's him. Don't give a damn. Now, he's older, you know, the athleticism and this dissipation and the skill set, but the mind is still. I want to hear that. It's on a 4-year, $106 million deal. You can still play. You're a brilliant basketball player. It's time. This is it. And this is your opportunity. This is the greatest opportunity the Houston Rockets have had at a championship in the James Harden era. And the bottom line is there's no excuses. If there ever was a point where there's no excuses for them too, it's right now. You handle your business in Game 6 because God help you and your reputation if you lose Game 6 without KD.
So I would definitely say you don't know for a fact that last year the Houston Rockets were going to beat the Golden State Warriors if Chris Paul wasn't there. That's a hypothetical. That's like me saying 3 years ago, if Draymond Green wasn't suspended with the horror deal with LeBron James, that the Golden State Warriors would have won that series if Draymond Green wasn't suspended. You can't say that. That's a hypothetical. And as far as the Houston Rockets, they do have an excuse to lose to the Golden State Warriors. Don't forget that the Golden State Warriors won a championship before Kevin Durant got there, before Boogie got there. So let's not act like these guys don't know how to win and they haven't won without Kevin Durant. If anything, the last game in the regular season that they played the Houston Rockets, they beat them without Kevin Durant, and they were Houston was at home. They had Chris Paul and James Harden, and they had a winning streak on the Golden State Warriors. So you know they can win, or the Golden State Warriors can win without Kevin Durant, with everything going good for the Houston Rockets. So as far as that, I wouldn't, just because Kevin Durant's gone doesn't mean anything. If anything, this might hype up the Splash Brothers and get them playing again, and they might be getting reminiscent of old times where they both come together and they just ball out, which is what happened towards the end of the last game. That compared with Chris Paul absolutely choking and playing like trash. He only got, 11 points last game, went 0 for 6 for 3-point. James Harden, got 31 points, 3 from 9 from the 3-point, and only shot 1 shot in the last 7 minutes of the game? That compared with the Splash Brothers coming back and doing what they do, Draymond Green coming back and doing what he's doing, even though he didn't have the best of games. They definitely have an excuse to lose to the Golden State Warriors. So let's keep going.
And then you come back to the Oracle for Game 7. And even though the odds are stacked against you, I'm willing to bet Houston will be the favorite because you got James Harden and CP3. Handle your business. So I'm not going to say it's all.
So you want to talk about, Houston's going to be voted to win or looked at to win a game? How could you say that, though? For one thing, they're 1 game down. And look at what makes you think that Houston would have the opportunity to win, because look what just happened. Like I said, Chris Paul last game, 11 points, 0 for 6 for the 3-point. James Harden, 31 points, 3 for 9 for the 9-point, 3 for 9 for the 3-point. And 1 shot in the last 7 minutes when they were going back and forth to be tied, and they came back by a huge deficit, and they can't seal the deal. They had the Golden State Warriors on the ropes, and they couldn't seal the deal with Kevin Durant out, and they lost. So what makes you think they're going to come back and win and beat Golden State Warriors? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Harden and Chris Paul did exactly what they did. They did exactly what everybody thought they were going to do, is choke. And unfortunately, Kevin Durant got hurt, but other players on Golden State were able to step it up. And Draymond Green hitting big threes when it was needed. So I don't see why Houston would be voted to win. It's been choke city all around, especially when it counted, and especially when it had Golden State on the ropes. So let's keep going.
Because we saw what Steph Curry and Klay Thompson can do and are willing to do, because they both stepped up when Kevin Durant went down. But there is no excuse for Houston. This is yours. It's there for the taking. What you gonna do?
Well, it's not theirs anymore because they had a chance to take it and they completely choked. Why would James Harden take only one shot with the last 7 minutes in the game where they clearly had a chance to win? They clearly had a chance to win. You want to talk about choke city? I mean, that's so bad of a choke job that I'm almost thinking he didn't want to win. He didn't want to win. I mean, you would think you're your team's bread and butter. You take the most shots for your team and everything that goes along with that. You've been doing it the whole year. And in the last 7 minutes, you only take one shot? You would think that James Harden would be taking all the shots in the last seconds or the last 7 minutes of a game that they have a chance to win, to go up 3-2 against against the Golden State Warriors, and he only takes one shot. Either he's getting paid by somebody, he doesn't want to win, or I don't know what to tell you. Because that's all that points to. And Chris Paul, 11 points, 0 for 6 for a 3-point? Yeah, I don't know. Let's keep going.
There's plenty of excuse for Houston now, which is that they're down 3-2, and Golden State has home court. That's the excuse. Look, let me show you what I mean. Let's say that they're now advantaged against Golden State because Golden State no longer has Kevin Durant. We all know Kevin Durant's an advantage, even though their point differential and win-loss record doesn't change much when Durant's out, as long as Steph is on the floor. However, we know in the playoffs it's different. Golden State had a hard time getting over the hump before KD got there. That is true. But let me show you what I mean. Let's say without KD now, you think Houston should be a real solid favorite, like better than 2-1. Say they have a 70% chance to win game 6.
I don't mean to interrupt, but why would Houston be favored to win? Why would they be favored to win? They couldn't seal the deal when Kevin Durant was out. The last time they played in the regular season, Kevin Durant wasn't there, and they still got beat. So I don't understand how Houston's going to be voted to win, and Golden State's going to have home court advantage, like you said. So let's keep going.
At Houston. And let's say you believe if they do that, they should be better than a 2-1 favorite to win at Oakland, to win at Oracle. That's a 70% chance, let's say. Right. Better than 2-1. You know what that means? You know what 70 times 7? What's 7 times? That's 49. They're still under 50% to win both games. They're more likely than not to lose the series simply because they staked a great team. Even without KD, they're a great team. I mean, even though they lost to LeBron and Kyrie when they were fully loaded, okay, they didn't have Iguodala, that's true. The year before, they went 6 games when LeBron didn't have Kyrie or Kevin Love. So they've always seemed a little vulnerable for a team that's been as great as they have been in the regular season. Nevertheless, they're a formidable team. They're a powerhouse team at the very least, even without KD. And when you stake that team to a 1-game lead and they have home court, you're simply the underdog still, Stephen A. The series is not over.
Exactly, the series isn't over, and I don't think that the Golden State Warriors should ease up off the gas. But, like I said, they still know how to win without Kevin Durant. They won without Kevin Durant, so I do not see how the Houston Rockets would be favored, especially with how James Harden and Chris Paul have been known to choke and have been choking. You have no reason to think that Houston would win. So let's keep going.
Or another, the Rockets now have a better chance than they did. They should have won that game last night, but they have a better chance than they did. But in fact, Golden State they're up 3-2 with home court. They're still the favorites.
Well, listen, first of all, I'm willing to concede that when we say the word over, technically, theoretically, of course it's not because there's a game 7 at the Oracle. But would you stop with the damn numbers for once? You got them eyeballs of yours. Come on, man, use it. Come on, Max. With those Beetlejuice eyes of yours, stop it. Stop with the numbers, Max. You know what time it is, bro. Come on now. Listen, here's the deal. Here's the deal, Max. Guys were in the arena last night arguing, right? Well, you know what? Hey, we won without KD in the past before he got here. Stop that. Andrew Bogut was younger. Harrison Barnes was there.
Iguodala
was younger. Livingston was younger. We all know they ain't the same now. So,
oh, come on, Stephen A. Smith. 2 years really makes a difference? Oh, so they've gone from being young 2 years ago to all of a sudden 2 years later, super old men that can't play anymore and they're just riddled with arthritis, right? And it's not like they haven't won in the past 2 years. They're defending back-to-back champions. So even if they are old, they have all momentum in the world. And they're up one game. And like I said, James Harden and Chris Paul have been choking. And they've won before. So I don't understand why do you think, what reason do you have to think that Houston could all of a sudden, now they're favored down with their two of their key players choking and Golden State, Curry and Klay starting to pick up their game? I don't understand. Why do you think Houston has the advantage? Let's keep going.
it's not just about what you have, but it's about what you lost in Kevin Durant and what you don't have in terms of your depth. They're not the same.
I want to address that.
That's why Steve Kerr went out of his way to praise this team, because he know they dug deep to get that done yesterday. Come on, Max. You can't look at Harden and CP3 and not see, yo, this is yours for the taking. There's no excuse.
You're right. It was theirs for the taking. And I was getting very, very shook up the last 10 minutes of the game. I was very shook up because it was going back and forth, and I was on the edge of my seat. My heart was pounding. Everything that goes along with being super nervous because I was scared. I was worried. And this is exactly what I did not want to happen, which is why I said when Golden State was up 2-0, you guys better slit the throat. You better slam Houston, because if they get a chance to come back, it's going to be a tough road. It's going to be a tough road like what they did the year before. But I don't know. Here we are now. Golden State pulled it off. So I don't know. They have to. Don't take your foot off the gas. You guys learn. You didn't learn the last time when now they're tied up. But now you're up one game. You got to slit the throat. Don't let it go down to game 7. Don't go there. So let's keep going.
Not to get this done.
Look, CP3 should be hungry, and that should make the difference. But Justin, let's start with the Warriors. Are they different? Yes. Let's not pretend it's the exact same squad. Iguodala still with the fate of the universe on the line on that team.
I'm sorry for stopping so much, but they pretty much are the same team. Iguodala's there, Curry's there, Klay's there, Draymond Green's there, Bogut's even back. So how are they any different? If anything, they're better. But since Kevin Durant's gone, they're back to their original team where they were all started. So I don't understand. I don't know where these guys are getting this thing that Golden State it can't pull it off, and Houston somehow voted to win over there. It just doesn't make sense. But let's keep going.
Give me Iguodala to hit a big shot. Any other time, no. But with under pressure, give me Iguodala. But the point is, even without KD, is Steph still an MVP caliber player? Yes, you have an MVP caliber player on your team, 5-star. Is Klay Thompson an all-star caliber player? Yes, you got a 5-star and a 4-star. What about Draymond Green? Yes, that's an all-star. You got an MVP and 2 all-stars, and Draymond Green was 1 play away from being Finals MVP, by the way, against the Cavs when they lost in Game 7. Had the Cavs not won it, Draymond was about to be MVP. And you have Iguodala, a former Finals MVP, who can still play. No, they're not what they were. You're right. Yes, they are vulnerable. But damn it, you got an MVP, 2 all-stars, and a former Finals MVP on your team still? That is a powerhouse team.
Exactly. That is a powerhouse team. Combine that with James Harden and Chris Paul are choking. Do I need to say it again? Chris Paul, 11 points. 0-6 for the 3-point shot. James Harden, 31 points. 3 for 9 for the 3-point. 1 shot in the last 7 minutes. Combined with what the powerhouse that Golden State is, I'll take those odds all day, every day. And they're up 1 game. You really think that Houston's going to win that? Or should be favored at least? Heck no. Heck no. This is Golden State all the way. And again, they've been given a second chance to go ahead and seal the deal. Don't take the foot off the gas pedal. As a matter of fact, Coach Kerr should surgically remove the brake pedal and have nothing but the gas pedal there. You slam on the gas and don't even worry about hitting the brakes, because that's what you're going to need to do to seal the deal against James Harden, Chris Paul, and the Houston Rockets. That's what you need to do. And we're not even in the finals yet. So let's keep going.
were vulnerable. You were vulnerable with KD on the court, man. You were vulnerable. I can understand if we sat up there and we had Golden State as the prohibitive favorite and they should run away with this series, but it was tied 2-2. They were down 20 and came back and took the lead with